Okay, shalom. Okay, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to our power, our only true living power. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Okay, double honors to the elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect faith based of the children of Israel that are people of Negro, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian descent. All right, let's get into this. Let's jump right into this. The downfall of Babylon. You know, the downfall that we're living and watching the downfall of our enemy, which this is exactly what our power wants, you know. And if you're not in that spirit, unfortunately, you're not going to make it. You have to be in the spirit and not in the spirit of let's get along to go along. Let's agree to get along, or whatever the hell the stupid ass saying is, or be in agreement with these devils, or accepting these devils, or accepting, you know, that's the wrong spirit to be in. And like I said before, the spirit that you're to be in is to live for it, man, to see the downfall of our enemy. And that's exactly what's written in the scriptures. And before I begin, let me get that precept. And I think it was in Sirach. It might be 25. Been a minute since I read it, but it might be 25 here. 24 or 25. It won't be hard to find it. It should be hard to find it. Because it's what pleases our power, man. It might be let's try here. I can always just look it up. Because I know something's telling me I'm just overlooking it. Slack it. Oh. Here you go. 25 and 7. It's right there. There be 9 things. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. And it should be pleasurable to you. It should give you great pleasure actually watching the fall of our major enemy, man. The number one enemy of existence of this planet Earth, the so-called white man, the Edomites. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. And this is coming out of the mouth of one of their very own, you know, which is literally showing that this place is corrupt. And I probably end up naming the video through corruption, through corruption and fraud has weakened this man, something like that, something of that extent, you know. And as I read on, you will understand what I mean by this. All right, and so it says here. Anduril founder says, and this is a defense contracting company that that you know makes billions of dollars through the U.S. to make defense weapons. All right, spends billions less on. Founder says U.S. can spend billions less on defense. We spend too much money on the wrong things, and it's bad, man. And he's getting a lot of pushback from this too, from speaking the truth. You know, and he's telling them that you know they're bringing out a bunch of product that's worthless. You know, it may explode and it may shoot to a destination or to a target, but in most parts, a lot of it pretty much don't work, man. Not as it should. For example, like under the under Nero's first administration, and remember he shot all those missiles into Syria. It was like 40 something, 50 something cruise missiles, and I can't remember the exact name what they're called, but none of them hit their target. Literally, none of them, and a lot of it was because of Russia's electronic warfare that he had at that time protecting Assad. Still, you know, ever since then, Assad has been removed out of office, and a lot of proxies are there, and maybe a few of the U.S. Um, um, planet stooges. Well, anyway, the state of Syria is just straight up in a state of civil war. Wars all over it, man. Wherever the U.S. goes, it destabilizes. It just fucks the place up. Literally, excuse my language. I only say it that way. Just it describes literally to a full extent of what's going on there. Literally, everywhere the U.S. go, they literally fuck up everything, man. You know. So let's read this. This is beautiful, man. It's beautiful, and he gets specific too. Defense spending has been in the talks of Singapore's air show this week, but that's not an accurate way to measure military strength, Palmer Luckey, founder of defense tech firm Anduril Industries, said on CNBC's Squawk Box Asia Wednesday. Check it out. He eats them up, man. That comes after U.S. President Donald Trump in January expressed interest in raising the U.S. military budget to $1.5 trillion in 2027, which he said would allow Washington to build a dream military. Too many people measure the success of defense based on terms of dollars, Luckey said. That's Luckey, I wish this could be a video, because a lot of times people are more comfortable just watching a video. I can't find the video, I probably can, by doing more search. And to be honest with you, I like to read it instead. But videos are effective, are really effective, especially when it's showing you it's coming out of the mouth of the horse himself. But anyway, rather military strength should be measured. Did I miss something? Too many people measure the success of defense based on terms of dollars, Luckey said. And again, this is an insider. This is an insider, man, and he knows what he's talking about. Obviously, because he's still in that position of making billions of dollars, producing military equipment. Defense equipment. Rather, military strength should be measured by output or what countries actually receive from their spending, he said. And he's going to mention Russia and China. Because he's comparing budgets, and those budgets that Russia and China are, the material that they're bringing out is quality equipment. It's quality equipment. But let's read on. This part of the reason why American defense companies aren't incentivized to produce military products that cost less, Luckey said. Ranked number one on the 2025 CNBC Disruptor 50 list, Anduril Industries was founded by Luckey in 2017. The company, which makes AI-powered autonomous defense products, is currently valued at $30.5 billion. Okay, measuring output, not dollars. Unfortunately, we have a pretty inefficient defense industrial apparatus. You see that? And this is Isaiah 14. I have it too. Unfortunately, we have a pretty inefficient defense industrial apparatus, Luckey said. Hold on, let's do this. Inefficient, not achieving maximum productivity, wasting or failing to make the best use of time or resources. Hey, we are witnessing the downfall of this place, man. It's wasting away through this man's greed, through these people's greed, man. Through their greed. And they don't care if it's accurate or not, or as long as it blows up. It got them. Because really an explosion, you don't have to hit directly. The aftershock will kill you, or the blast from a distance, and the shrapnel that it scatters is what really gets most people anyway. and not the initial explosion. It's usually what the explosion shoots out, just as similar to a gun when a gun is released up out the barrel. You know, it shoots the bullet out. It's an explosion. It propels the bullet itself. But it's the shrapnel from the explosion that shoots out that mainly kills people. That's why they use a lot of those what are they called artillery guns on a battlefield, and they just shoot it up, and the projectile comes down and explodes, and who's ever near it, it's what that's hit by the debris, it ends up injured or dead. And that's how these people think, man. They don't give a damn, man. As long as it just blows up, you know. But then it's the spirit as well that's at work. That's it's the spirit that this place is to rot away. Literally, it's just wasting away, man. It's decaying away. Okay, Lucky said, for we have pretty insufficient defense industrial apparatus. Lucky said, I don't think that we're getting nearly as much for our dollar as a lot of other nations are. Lucky said China is getting a lot more aircraft, a lot more missiles, certainly a lot more ground forces for every dollar they spend. And so you can be in a situation where China is spending less than the United States, but the output is double or triple or quadruple. China's military budget in 2025 was set at 1.78 trillion yen, about 249 billion in US dollars. China's shipment capacity is roughly 232 times that of the US, and Beijing has held out 66.8% of global orders as of in December 2025, according to its state media. We need to get our act together so that we can get everything that currently costs 1.5 trillion for well under $1 trillion. He said, I would love to see a sub 500 billion defense budget if it's getting us the things that we need. Hey, this we told y'all during World War III, man, when the War of Armageddon sets off, the Babylon's military is going to be in a bad state, man. I mean, they're going to be overwhelmed and especially with poor equipment, and overwhelmed by the amount of enemies that's going to come upon them. And I mean, come on, it's a massive military, man. The U.S. It's massive, not in personnel, but in equipment. It's a massive military, man. But Lord willing, that draft, that suddenly comes to pass, man, and they just start snatching some of these YNs up off the streets. And a lot of these hoes too that's been fighting for equal rights, snatch them off the street and draft them in the military and send them over out there to fight, man. Cause y'all no good anyway. Y'all useless and no good to our people anyway. It says however, U.S. defense spending isn't set up in a way that will make that happen, he said. The current system rewards companies that move slowly, make products that break often, and spend money building the wrong thing. This is beautiful. And it ain't gonna change. They set in their ways, man. To please those investors and to please the words, whatever politicians that are shooting for these wars and whoever else, man. The military industrial complexes, those behind the scenes that are getting fat, getting their pockets fat, pretty much. That's all, man. So let me get Isaiah 14. Often that breaks often. And your boy, and I can't find it. And it was a while ago. I was trying to find it too, because it was really, really interesting. Remember when Russia went in and started this military campaign, special operation against Ukraine, and then all the specialists started coming on YouTube, like Colonel McGregor and your boy Scott. Oh man, what's his name? What is dude's name, man? what is his name? Scott. It's right. Let me pull it up. Let me see if I can find it. Well, what he was saying was Scott Ritter, how during that operation, how America can't sustain its position there, and how Russia will have a lot of success is because of the equipment that America brings out. And he was going heavy, and he was speaking a lot about it, man. I should have took records on, and notes on it too, but it's all good. Maybe I'll message him, see if he can respond and answer my question. But what he was saying, that America's equipment over there, it needs, and he was speaking on logistics. It needs the logistics to be a major part of it, and it can't hold up the logistics part of it because the equipment breaks easy. You know, the equipment is breaking. He was explaining there's a term for it that he was using and everything, and that's has always been a practice here in Babylon. Now that we're finding out, and it's a practice they also practice with its product they give to the American people themselves, as far as automobiles, or and as far as all its products, you know, that American consumers, which are the largest consumers on this planet, which they purchase. And nothing lasts long like it used to, like from the 70s. My mom and dad had a television that lasted forever, man. A television, a stereo. Should have kept that stereo to this day, man. It would still be pumping. You know, those cabinet stereos that you can, you know what I'm talking about. Those cabinet stereos that you open up, and the turntables down inside of it, but the sides of the cabinet itself was massive speakers. You know, heavy tables, and I mean, just America used to produce product that lasted a lifetime. And the only reason why you don't see those things now is just the people just got rid of it, and not because it broke. People really, and a lot of it, and some of it has, but in most cases, a lot of people just wanted to be modern, and got rid of all of that stuff, man. You know, and they invested in junk. You know, these flat screens TVs, they don't last long. You know, they have a time on them, man, and they just oh, just tripped me out the other day. I went into Walmart, 65-inch TV for $300. $300. Whew. I was thinking about getting one for my son's garage. Get one for myself and putting the one I have in my son's garage. But I ain't gonna do that. It's not necessary. But anyway, I go right in my mouth again. Okay, so let's do that. Just Isaiah 14 here. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 9. This is on Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Isaiah 14:9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee in thy coming, at thy coming. Oh, you know what? Hold on, let me continue on. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And another thing is that brings, I want to mention concerning this is, hast thou become weak as we? Because these nations have technology now, have military missiles. You know, they're in positions to literally fight back, where this devil has always instilled its will over these nations that couldn't fight back. But now these nations have missiles, man, that can shoot out jet planes, that can sink ships. You know, so these nations now don't have to directly come with AK-47s and charge them. They can now shoot just like America from a distance now. That's proof of that is now you see how America was. Remember they were. Remember Yemen had pushed America back. The little broke town of the country of Yemen, man. Yemen, and Yemen is a proxy of Iran. And America couldn't do a goddamn thing about it. Not a damn thing about it, man. And really, they had, and I used to have actual photos. I don't know how real they are, or if they are real or AI or whatever. But some pictures of Yemen has some success striking some actual U.S. military ships, man. And I know a couple of them had to be real. They left Yemen the hell alone. And you think they're going to go and destroy Iran? Shh, just wait. Just wait. When they do go on to foot in Iran, just wait. They're going to get an ass whooping, man. So it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And that worms is what, um, that's that decay, and they're telling you that they're decaying away, or am I using the right word? Let's just hit it. The worm, like worm, maggot, worm, as cause and signs of decay. And this is because of this man's greed. Just get the material, just get the equipment out. Just get the equipment out. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? That's these devils. That's not Satan. That's the old Lucifer. That's just these devils are enlightened on the left hand, on the side of wickedness. The left represent wickedness, man. Satanism. So they're the Illuminati, the enlightened ones in wickedness. Okay? O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? See, they were able at one point to instill their will on these nations, but now these nations has received favor from China and from Russia, and they've received technology. Favors from Iran, India, maybe Pakistan, and they've received technology. So now they're able to fight back against these devils, man, and their weak product. So let's get back to that, because again, this man, his corruption and his fraud has caught up to him. Trump is early January criticized U.S. defense companies for prioritizing capital returns and executive pay over investment and on-time deliveries. Though he did not name names in the January 9th Truth Social post, Trump said he would not permit defense companies to issue dividends or stock buybacks until such time as these problems are rectified. Lucky called this criticism perfectly fair. Defense companies are unique in that they make almost all their money straight out of the wallet of taxpayer, he said. Listen, hold on. Why? Remember, he didn't say, hey, you people are making too much, period. He said, if you're going to be billions of dollars over budget and years behind on your delivery, you don't get to then pay yourselves tens of millions of dollars and shovel huge piles of money out to your investors as if you were a successful company, Lucky said. Ain't that something else? Getting paid for what may happen or what could happen, or that's crazy. He added that major American defense companies can't blame supply chain problems, which ramp up during the pan and continue to plague the industry today. This is not a one-year mistake. This is a pattern. It's been going on not for months or years, but for decades, he said. He also rejected those who say Trump's criticism may soon apply to Anduril Industries, which Lucky said will almost certainly go public in the future. We are delivering on time, he said, and we are staying on budget. It's funny, man. Hold on, let me get these precepts. See, this devil's, man, he uses people's ignorance to get paid, the same way as they when they created the Federal Reserve, where ultimately the whole goal was to build people and put people into debt. That was the ultimate goal, to put the people in a debt, man. So here we are years later, because that was in the early 1900s. 1913 maybe specifically, and here we are in 2026, over $100 trillion in debt. It's high, man. That actual debt is much higher than that 37, 38 trillion that the country is under right now. That's what people don't know. That's what they don't know. It says here in Proverbs 15:37. Let me get it. You know what? I won't keep that up because I might want to read that. Is this the man? I love reading that. 27. Proverbs 15:27. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. And so this devil again, he's bringing his own in his own destruction because of his own wickedness. Greed brings grief to the whole family. But those who hate bribes will live. And this devil hateth instruction. So that's the last thing that he's going to do is take heed to warnings, man. You know, this is the way of this man. Greed. He can't see. You know, it's not in his nature to see the future and consider the latter end. Scriptures mention the latter end, nor did he consider the latter end. Okay. Hold on. This is beautiful, man. It's beautiful that we actually can literally see the finish line. We see the finish line, man. You know, so be patient. Be patient because our enemies, man, which these heathens, and 2/3 of our own people, the men and women of our own people, 2/3 of them, man. You know, hey, they're about to be destroyed. You know, and let me give you a hint on if you may be one of those 2/3. If you're hearing the warnings and you don't agree to them, you know, if you're justifying you and your lifestyle, you're an enemy, man. You know, you men and you women. If you're right now is justifying your decisions and the things you did, and they're not according to truth, knowledge, and understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, they're not according to the ways of our power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, you're going to be destroyed. Period. Period. Because a lot of you are under the same characteristics of this devil, a thief, you know, a slanderer, a scoffer, you know, you know, you're murderers, you know, you adulterers and adulteresses, you know, you women, that's a constant practice. You're looking for the next rod to go up in you, the next best rod, in hopes that he stays with you. Or less of what a lot of you women are doing is just open your legs to the next nigga, you know, being played. And a lot of you done come to terms that this is what I like to do. You know? Where's your baby daddies at? Oh, I don't need him. He a bum. He ain't shit. This nigga here, man, does this for me, and this other nigga here does this for me. You're gonna be destroyed. And you niggas that are encouraging this behavior for that very fact that you can, oh man, that's my side piece. That's my side bitch. They ain't even with their baby mamas. All this mess, man. All this mess, man. Encouraging women to lead the father of their children and home breakers, man. A bunch of sorcerers amongst our people. Dope dealers, dope users. On and on and on. Exodus 23:8, and thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise and perverteth the words of the righteous. All right, but let me do this. Take no bribes, for a bribe makes you ignore something that you clearly see. A bribe makes even a righteous person twist the truth. Okay? And that's pretty much the practice of this man. Bribery, man. It's all coming out. You know, the bribery, because they use the politicians to get legislation passed. Bribes. You know? So that's how they're able to continue on passing this massive military budget, man. That all begins with bribery. Okay? So this is some good reading, you know. And so continue on praying that this place goes down, man. Continue on praying, because it's going down. It's going down. That's your boy right there. That's your boy right there. But they're not going to. Them billions is going to continue. In this case, trillions now. It's been trillions, man. Because there's a black budget that they don't even mention. That's part of that. Those billions. Well, now they're looking to pass over $1 trillion openly. You know. So this is helping contribute to that thick clay, which is that debt, the debt of this place. It's the destruction of Babylon. It's the destruction of Babylon. I should read the actual pushback that from this man's comment that from this him being honest, because there's actual people that don't want him to be honest about what he said. But it's all good. All right, so continue in prayer, like I said, that throwing up the enchantments on the destruction of our enemy, man, which is important. And Lord willing, hopefully you were edified and inspired, And so let's give all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Okay, till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.